This is Musical Talk, your podcast for musical theater. Here are your hosts, Nick Hudson and Andrew Edwards.
Hello, welcome to Musical Talk, our third episode now. We're into episode 3.
1, 2, 3.
Yay! 1.
Yes. Did you watch Sesame Street when you were little?
Yeah, I did, yeah. What was the vampire all about? How could you have a vampire entertaining children?
Well,
Just imagine.
That was actually asked on a Family Guy episode once, where Peter and Brian are watching Sesame Street, and Peter says, "Hey Brian, you know the Count on Sesame Street? Does he ever, get women and mutilate them?" and then Brian says in his very sort of dry voice, "Peter, you're asking if the Count on Sesame Street ever makes love to women and then mutilates them? No, I don't think they do." Yeah, so we got lots of stuff to get through later.
Oh yes,
today
lots of
for
stuff.
Our third show. First of all, I want to announce that we now have a sort of official website you can go to.
Sort of official website.
Sort of official, with a rather confusing domain name, I'm afraid, because we're cheap.
Yes,
it's really the best thing we can manage. If you want to grab a pen and write it down, I'll give you 5 seconds.
2, 3.
5 seconds.
5 seconds.
Yes, I know we're strange and mildly creepy, but
Yeah, you got to deal with that.
it's. But I can tell you, if you're able to download a podcast, you can make it onto this website. It's not that difficult. It's HTTP. Is it colon or semicolon? The 2 dots.
Colon.
You didn't know, you're dyslexic. Colon. Two
thanks for that.
2 dashy things. This is the bit you need to remember. It's Hudson, hutson.googlepages.com. So that's hudson.nick.googlepages.com. There's no www, it's just http /back. So go to that site and it sort of features an episode archive.
Yep, episode icons.
Episode links, which means for every episode we'll do, I will trawl through all the websites and provide links for...
You can go and see the news that we've talked about.
You can read about the news articles in detail, and there's also pictures of us.
Oh, yeah, there's pictures of us, all right.
And there's a nice picture of Andy, sort of half naked, wearing a plastic bag. And there's also a forum. We now have a forum.
Please start writing stuff.
Which is marvellous news. You can register on our forums, and there's sort of there's a section where you can discuss each episode, and there's a section where you can talk about musicals. There's a section where you can introduce yourself, and there's a section where you can just have general chat about whatever you want, really.
General chat.
But please keep it clean. One thing I ask is that you try and spell stuff properly, because I cannot stand all this internet ghetto rubbish that people come out with. You has 3 letters in it, not 1. Andy, of course, he does that.
Sorry, I can't help it.
But he's dyslexic, so it doesn't matter.
That's twice now. Go on.
Anyway.
Go for the third one, go on.
The rule of 3, when the chance comes, I will say that he's dyslexic. I just said it.
Okay.
We're going to go through... We have had some emails, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yes, we've had emails.
And we're now close to 600 listeners. The Stephen Schwartz show... the Disney show that we had on...
Episode 2.
On Monday really went down well.
Yeah, we've had 600 listeners, you say? Nearly.
And,
Nearly.
Nearly 600 listeners, I think 550 at the time of us recording this. So we've had a couple of emails. Andy's going to read them.
Oh, okay.
He's dyslexic.
Thank you for that.
So,
there we go, seat 4 now, we're on 4. We're going should we have a count every time you mention it?
We'll keep a tally.
Right, we've got one.
4 mentions.
We've got one here from, I hope I pronounced his name properly, Arvinder Robinson.
Yeah.
Who is currently appearing in the Broadway production of Hairspray.
Great musical.
And he has emailed us to say that he likes the show.
Amazing show.
He's just running across the podcast. He wants to say that Donny Osmond is currently playing Gaston in Beauty and the Beast.
Sorry
we
about
weren't
that.
sure what
we
was playing.
We weren't sure. We sort of thought it could be the Beast or it could be Gaston.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think that makes sense he's playing Gaston.
Yeah.
No offence to Donny, but maybe the Beast has harder songs to sing. And it's
I don't know. It's the same range. It's the same. And Me is a very hard song because you've got to move at the same time as singing. Whereas the Beast, when he sings "I Can't Love Her," just kind of stands there and sings it. So you've
got to carry Belle on your shoulder.
Yeah, you could kind of argue. Yeah, either way really. But both are very difficult
both
parts.
demanding roles.
Yeah, and also he's put his email Tarzan. Although I think it's a good show, it's not pulling in the box office sales, which is sad to hear.
Yeah.
And there's also, they said, the next adventure for Disney, as we mentioned, is Little Mermaid, but also they're planning to do Finding Nemo.
It's interesting. Finding Nemo has lyrics, I think music by one of the writers from Avenue Q. and his wife is doing the lyrics.
Is he going to keep it dirty? Oh, I mean,
No.
clean. Sorry.
He's going to keep it clean. It will be in a complete different vein than
Finding
Avenue Q.
Nemo's Midnight Matinee. That'd be quite good, that.
I think that's another theme park production.
Oh, okay.
That's going to be at one of the parks. So,
brilliant.
And also, bit of theme park trivia. They're doing a Finding Nemo ride now. There used to be a ride at Disney called 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, which was a submarine ride. You got
Yes, I remember that. I used to get on
built
that.
a lagoon.
That was there when I was there last.
I've never ridden that. You've done it.
Yeah, it was. I think it was at the Florida one.
Yeah,
I'm sure it was. I was only like
Disney
12 when I
one.
went there.
What was it like? Can you remember?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, you
So
went underwater in like a
So now
submarine.
they've done it in a Finding Nemo.
Oh,
way.
brilliant! But anyway, so he goes on to talk about the similar thing with that we've had. How do you solve a problem like Maria? They're
Yeah.
having a Greece one. I think they're calling it.
You're
the one that we want.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he goes on to mention that, and yeah. So just that he's playing Gilbert in the ensemble, and that he's cover for Seaweed. So good luck with that. And
we love Hairspray. I think it's brilliant. And and it's coming to London soon, isn't it? There are rumours.
Well, there was the original auditions went ahead, and then they pulled the show. They said they weren't going to do it anymore because it was set to go into the
Cambridge.
Apollo Victoria. I thought it was.
I heard Cambridge.
Oh, okay, maybe I don't know. Anyway, but yes. So, but it's supposed to be coming back again anyway. But
Let's
yes,
hope
there
so.
we are. But thank you for that email. And we've also had an email from
Your drama teacher.
my drama teacher Gavin.
Hi,
Bless
Gavin.
him.
Thank you for writing.
Yes. We've also had an email from Alex,
Yep,
who.
thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. You got our I found our podcast from the We Will Rock You forum.
Mm-hmm.
I assume WWRY
Yeah.
means We Will Rock You. So, and he says that he's an aspiring writer, and he's worried about. He brings up the point that there aren't many new British musicals going on, and all the new ones are coming over from America. I mean, the last big one I can think of that was just probably The Woman in White. Maybe I think that was maybe the last big one.
To me, Mary Poppins comes.
No,
to
Mary
mind,
Poppins, of course. Yeah.
which
Billy Elliot.
yeah,
So they are there.
they are there, and of course, We'll Rock You.
Well, yeah, of course,
It
We
is
Will
a
Rock
British
You, yeah,
musical,
yeah,
and
absolutely.
Mamma Mia is a hugely successful musical.
Yep.
Of course, Tim Rice is doing lots of projects, but I think what the comment he was saying was, it's difficult for new writers to get musicals on in London and New York. And what I said to Alex is that New York has a lot of musical theatre writing courses. Our friend Stephen Schwartz runs one for ASCAP, and BMI have one.
I didn't know that.
Over in New York, so they have
okay.
lots of support for young writers.
Yeah.
And also, New York University has the Tisch School for Arts, which has a sort of very good master's musical theatre writing program. But of course, I'm
You're starting yours on Monday,
I'm
aren't you?
starting mine on Monday at the Goldsmiths University for their musical theatre writing course. So they're starting to appear. But New York is at the moment also holding a huge musical theatre festival, where they have lots of new works being recorded. And of course, Avenue Q famously started at the BMI workshop.
Yeah,
musical
I mean, it's
theatre.
like our kind of fringe festival, really,
Yeah.
isn't it? I mean, we have the fringe where things like Jerry Springer.
But it's a shame the Fringe isn't in the West End. It's all
It's all
away
in.
at the
But
other-
then,
the other
believe
end.
me, I went to the. Have you been to the Fringe? I'll tell you, it's a thing to do. It's like it's on for a whole month. I think it's on now. Actually, it will be on now.
Maybe
unless
next
it's
year we
finished.
should go to the Fringe and
It's brilliant.
do a broadcast from there.
The only trouble is trying to get down the Royal Mile without picking up about 20 flies is impossible. But it's great because they turn every cafe, every church hall, everything into a theatre. My sister did a show called Assassins up there.
By
and
Stephen Sondheim.
Yeah, and I went up there, and I have to say it's one of the best things I've ever seen. It was in a very small church hall, and they had real guns, like blanked gun, like proper stage guns. And when these things went off, oh my god, I was going to die, And
Good thing you didn't.
No, yeah, but it was honestly. And I love Stephen Sondheim anyway. Love his music. Love his work.
It's brilliant.
Loving your work, Steve. Keep it up. But
The other Steve. sorry.
yeah, the other Steve, Sondheim. Go on, Sondheim. No,
we should go by last names when we talk.
yes. So Stephen's. Yes. So anyway, he also goes on to say he might be coming to see the producers next week. So Alex, it'd be nice to see you. Give us a shout afterwards. Go to the stage door, and I'll say, I'd like to meet you. So
Wow.
come along.
And talking to producers, next week we have an interview with Mr. Corey English,
Mr. Corey English. I'm interviewing him today.
who is the star of the producers.
The star of the producers. He's playing Max Bialystock.
Stark.
I think that's all the emails.
Yep.
We've had quite a few. We have had a few saying, "Can we please get an interview with Adina Menzel?"
Big news.
Which would be amazing.
Yeah.
Um,
We're trying our best.
Which we are trying our best. Yeah. And I think we'll be scrambling over each other to try and get that interview, won't we?
Oh, sorry, we forgot to mention on our website we have an online shop, ladies.
Oh God, here we go. Yeah, we've got yes, you can have a musical theatre talk
Thong
if you really want to.
You can tantalise your girlfriend.
Absolutely.
Your boyfriend.
Oh, that'd be even better.
And you can get lots of wonderful stuff like posters and stickers and badges and buttons and all this wonderful array of stuff. So there's a link from our site, hudson.nick.googlepages.com.
Yes,
and
I knew you were dying to say that.
Of course. And yes, so go there and check it out. And
we'd just like to say though now that we don't actually make any money off that.
No.
It's a separate company that do it, and it's just a bit of fun.
It's just a bit of fun.
We won't actually make any, and any money that we ever do happen to make doing this show will, either go. Well, we'll go to charity, probably the Actors Benevolent Fund or something along those lines.
Or buying equipment to do.
Buying equipment to do the show.
Remote broadcast from the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, 2007 or whatever it is next year. Last week we said we'd talk about Spamalot, which we're going to do. They're rehearsing right now.
Yes, I'm rehearsing right now.
And
in the Palace Theatre, London,
where, of course, where Les Miserables played
famously
about
ran
400
for
years.
Yeah, 400.
And brilliant idea for a musical. It just sounds.
Yeah, well, it's perfect, isn't it? Because it's Monty Python.
But anyway, I interviewed a couple of days ago a New York native, a musical theatre writer and film guy called Michael DeGaetano.
Film guy, is that a technical term?
Pardon?
Is that a technical term? Film
yeah,
guy?
it sort of means he dabbles in films and stuff. A very nice guy called Michael DeGaetano, and he was lucky enough to see the original Broadway version of Spamalot.
Wow.
With Sir Tim Curry.
Oh, gotta love Tim Curry.
And David Hyde Pierce and Hank Azaria.
Wow.
What a brilliant cast.
Yeah, Hank Azaria, because he's in The Simpsons, isn't he? He does the voice in The Simpsons.
He does a Boone, has a beamer petal on. And Clancy Wiggum. And so, yeah, I interviewed him and asking him what he thought of the show and how he thinks it works. And this is what he had to say.
I thought, it's funny because you go into the theater knowing it so well. If you're really a Monty Python fan, like the whole crowd obviously was,
yeah,
you actually look forward to seeing certain bits, and you hear so much about the show and reviews and reading about it. It's almost like going to a rock and roll show and waiting for the Who to play Won't Get Fooled Again as the encore, because you have so much anticipation, and you wonder if they're going to be able to pull off the things they did on TV live. So you say, how are they going to make the Knights Who Say Knee have their legs cut off? And every time you see these things that are so familiar from growing up with it, you just get really excited. It was really unlike any show I'd ever been to. It wasn't the best show I ever went to. It had some good music and great performances, but it was more of an event than a show. I think it's one of those shows that could certainly run forever, no matter who's starring it. Because right now there are no name cast members in the show, and it's still selling out every performance. So even though it was great seeing it with Tim Curry and the original cast, I just think it's fun. It's basically the night of fun, which a lot of theater is not.
But because most musicals are quite depressing, like Phantom of the Opera and Les Miserables, you sort of go and you get...
They're either depressing because they're Les Mis, or they're depressing because they're $100 a ticket and they're bad.
Yes.
So a lot of times you walk into a theater, I would say half the times I go to a show and I'm disappointed with the results. And I'm like, a movie is $10.
Yeah.
It's $100, and you sit there and go, how did this even make it to the stage? How did this make it past Boston? Because you sit around and you say, my God, there are all these creative people put this together. They watched it every day and said, yes, we're ready. And you wonder, like, didn't anybody have the guts to say, no, you're not? I mean, the best example was Elton John's Vampire musical a few months ago. After all these people see this show and didn't think it stunk. Amazing.
Well, they say New York is a very harsh critic because, there are, of course, more theatre people there than there probably are in most other cities in America where these shows would do out-of-town tryouts.
Well, I think they're harsh because there's more and more bad shows.
Yeah.
That's really... Because I've been seeing theater for 35 years now, and when I read about a show that is great in the reviews, and I see the show ends up just being good, I think the standard has been lowered.
Right.
I think a good show now is considered a great show, where 30 years ago, 10 years ago, it would have been maybe just an okay show. So I just think the standard is lower, and sometimes it's not. Some of the best shows we get are obviously from England and places like that. I think the American theater is in trouble, which is why I'm trying to save it single-handedly. But that's another story. The Spamalot, no, the Spamalot was a very fun experience. Monty Python certainly influenced a lot of American humor over the last 30 years, and so the fact that it actually made it to stage, and because I remember when I went and saw the live Monty Python at the Hollywood Bowl, it was just like a rock concert.
I've seen clips of that, and John Cleese can hardly do the parrot sketch.
Oh, I know. I mean, and just sitting in the audience and watching him go through screaming albatross at the vendor, it was just you can't really describe it to anybody. It was almost like that movie, The Mighty Wind, that Christopher Guest did last year. They did a live concert of that last year in Beverly Hills that I went to. It was just like, you really can't explain how much fun it is to see something like that. That's more of an event than a show or a play. It is an event, no question about it, and they're kind of once in a lifetime things. I mean, you can't really duplicate Spamalot.
It's like when Wicked opened here, that the first night of previews, people were saying that some songs couldn't even be heard because the audience were just screaming, and not in a bad way. It was a good way. And what one cast member, Martin Ball, described it as, this is not a musical, this is a rock concert. And I think that's the way a lot of musicals are going now, because of the internet and because of the marketing power that a lot of these big producers have now. People get so worked up about music.
And plus, a lot of the audience is dead. I mean, you have to realize they're trying to bring in younger people, and that's the one thing Spamalot did that most plays or musicals can't, is bring in teenage boys and 20-year-old boys. I mean, when I went and saw Spamalot, it wasn't like any audience I'd seen in a Broadway theater. I saw the show twice. It was, a lot of guys 25 years old with their dates, and you wouldn't get them to go see Dirty Rotten Scoundrel. They're certainly going to see Spamalot.
Yeah.
And they're going multiple times. I had the girl sitting next to me the second night. It was like a 25-year-old girl, and she had driven down from Rochester or Syracuse. It was her graduation present from college. Her parents took her down to see Spamalot because she's such a Monty Python fan. So it was interesting to see the different kind of Broadway crowd, definitely.
So how do you think the movie translates from the film to the stage?
I think it translates absolutely wonderfully. There was nothing stands out that they didn't do well. It was visually funny. Obviously it was written funny, and you can tell the actors were just having a great time doing it. And I just think it was I hate to say a magical theater experience. I sound like a reviewer, but it really was a special night. And I was looking forward to it for the longest time. Once I heard that they were going to do this show, I got tickets the first day they went on sale. I just made sure I wasn't going to miss it. And the reason I went a second time so quickly was because the night I was there, Tim Curry was sick and didn't perform. So I went back a second night, a few weeks later, just to make sure I saw him, and he was in. So it was definitely worth it.
Now, we have Tim Curry doing it over here in London. Does seeing Tim Curry make it a better experience, do you think?
I think it makes it a better experience only if you're a major fan of his, and maybe if you're. Yeah, I saw him do Rocky Horror Show in London back in the 70s when I was over there.
So did my dad, interestingly enough.
Yeah, just the idea of seeing him do that was just something special. Because again, people like that, you don't get to see them live very often.
No.
And you get to see him on a sitcom, or you get to see him in a movie as well. But it's rare to see someone like that. I remember when I was in London in the 70s, I saw Jimmy Stewart doing Harvey on stage. It's like, you don't get to see things like that very often.
It's like when you mentioned Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. It's like when I went to see that, I felt very lucky to see John Lithgow on stage.
Yeah, because it's true. Because it's rare you'll get someone like that. But these are real actors. I mean, these are people who, they'll do movies and things to make the paychecks, but people who love theater are real actors. They'll take 6 months or a year out of their life and do something like that if the material's good. Those are the people you really want to see, and those are very few and far between. When you get someone like Julia Roberts doing 6 weeks on Broadway into what was ultimately a bad show, I mean, who cares? It's like
people will go and see it because of Julia Roberts.
Yeah, that's every reason to saw. And even when they did a revival of The Odd Couple that was supposed to be really terrible, but because Matthew Broderick and Nathan Lane did it, it sold out all 12 weeks, and everybody said, Matthew Broderick was just basically, waltzing through. It didn't really put anything into the part, although Nathan did. It's kind of like, yes, people like seeing stars, but some shows like Spamalot, you don't have to see the stars. You just have to see. Monty Python is the star of that show.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one question I want to ask you is, do you have to know a lot about the Monty Python's Flying Circus and the movies to really get into the stage musical?
I think you have to know what you're going to be seeing is not to be taken seriously.
Right.
I don't think you have to have seen everything. It's like, I think you sort of have to, I mean, if you go see a Woody Allen movie, I mean, you're going to see, like, interesting banter and a lot of New York and a lot of Jewish humor, but you don't have to have seen every movie he ever made to know what to expect. You're not going to see people get a pie in the face in a Woody Allen movie.
No.
But you're going to go to Spamalot. Well, the thing is, you're going to go to Monty Python because they have a very interesting mix of lowbrow humor, like, men in dresses and things like that.
Very British.
But you're also going to see intellectual stuff like Kierkegaard playing soccer. So it's an interesting mix of, because I've known Terry Jones a long time. He almost directed a movie I wrote about 8 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But the studio got cold feet. And but so he was telling me some great stories about just how much fun it was being a Python. I've seen him a few times recently, and just because it's a good chance to. It's the kind of humor I like, where people take chances and they'll write jokes and they'll do things that they find funny, and they hope like a percentage of the audience will too.
Were there any changes in the second show you saw compared to the first one?
Well, it definitely seemed tighter. I mean, there was a few new jokes.
Yeah.
And actually, they changed one line in a song, because when I first saw the show, it had been before the Tony Awards.
Yes.
And after the show had won, they changed a couple lines in one of the songs Lady in the Lake did, because one of the lyrics was she'd never won a Tony, then she had one. And the new line was even funnier than the original one. But so they definitely were constantly updating it.
Good.
And the show did it felt about 10 minutes shorter and much tighter the second time I saw it.
Well, maybe as it was tighter, that was why it seemed to be more shorter, because there was less lag probably between jokes.
Yeah, I think, I mean, they were working things out every day. You can just tell that they were there and making sure things, I mean, I know Eric was in New York because I saw him in a restaurant the night I went to see the show the first time, so he was obviously there, always tightening things up and always making sure things were as funny as they could be. So, and you could definitely see the result. They would definitely put a lot of care into the show. As
it's now on stage, they can, of course, add a whole new dimension of parody to it. What musical theatre references are there?
It seemed like they were always kind of freshening things up. They made a lot of fun, David Hyde Pierce's song about, you need to have the Jews to make success. And the people understood, and the people who obviously were Jewish understood the joke, because Broadway is famous for having a lot of Jewish backers.
Yeah.
And but it was done tongue-in-cheek and fun, as opposed to, I think, anybody else doing that song, it might have been like an insult, or might have had protesters. But they made fun, of it's hard for me to remember the specifics now, but they did, I think Marty Short's new show had a lot more specific Broadway references than Python did.
Yeah.
But the production numbers, you can see in the production numbers and the things, they may have been a throwaway line too. A lot of times they just did things off the top of their heads some nights. But so specific shows I can't say, but you can just tell the whole thing was
very tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah, it was all very tongue-in-cheek. It was almost like a tribute to musical theater. It was just fun. That's the only word you could use, was fun. You walk out of there humming some of the songs, either because you remember them from the movie or because they were good. But it was just a night of fun, and I think it's very rare you will go see a Broadway show a second time, especially that close.
Yeah.
Like I did within a few weeks of each other. But I would certainly, if somebody called me trying to say, "Do you want to go see Spamalot?" I would say, sure. I would have no hesitation, even though it's not the original cast. I would just go again. I would have no problem saying, sure, let's go, because you're going to have a good time.
I heard there's a sort of Lloyd Webber parody called "The Song That Goes Like This."
Yeah, that's the best song in the show. It's again, my mind's not fresh. I saw the show over a year ago, but yeah, it was a Lady of the Lake and Sir Galahad parodying those great Andrew Lloyd Webber, where he has two great majestic songs in every show, and they were just making complete fun of it, and it was brilliant. I mean, it was one of the funniest songs I've ever heard, be it on a Broadway stage or anyplace else. It was just absolutely brilliant, performed perfectly. It was also a really nice song. That's what makes it work. If you're going to do parody, you have to make it seem real.
Yeah.
That's the thing I'm going through now with the telethon play I'm writing. The people performing in the telethon have to take themselves seriously, or the people watching it think they're just making fun of themselves. And that's what I think Python did well, was they took everything deadly serious, and that made it seem like they were truly who they were, which is why it worked on stage. They were singing this love song to each other that completely made fun of love songs and theater itself. So, yeah, so good parody is like the Christopher Guest movies. Again, they're taking themselves deadly serious, and that's why it works. It's a great experience. I think anybody with even the slightest sense of humor should go see Spamalot.
All right, Michael. Well, thanks very much for your time, and thank you for talking to us about Spamalot today.
Good time.
Thank you very much. So there you have an interview with Michael DiGaetano. Thank you very, very much.
Yes, thank you for that, Michael.
Taking the time and really informative insight into Spamalot.
Yeah, he's a very intelligent man as well, so it was nice to hear what he's got to say.
Yeah, and one thing he did say, which you and I agree on, is about musicals bringing younger audiences.
Yeah, it's been a thing in the West End for a while now. We need to get young blood interested in theatre. A lot of people have everyone says it, the youth of today, but most young people are only really interested in going out on the weekend, going to their favourite nightclub, having a drink. And it's a shame because, I mean, there are obviously people that are interested in theatre, musical theatre. But it's been, I think it's been on everyone's minds for a while about bringing young people into the theatre. And recently they've done it very successfully. I mean, to name a few would be Jerry Springer,
of course. Jerry Springer the Opera was a big musical here, where what they did is they took Jerry Springer the TV show and did a genius move. It was a very controversial show, but it turned the TV show into an opera, and worked very well. And there was no restraints on language or content.
Absolutely, I mean it was foul-mouthed and un-PC.
And this was really the first show to do sort of, as it were, student tickets.
Yeah.
For under 25s, you could see it for £20. If you were aged 25 or under, you could go for £20. But I think we can go back earlier that and say, of course, Disney got the young people into the theatre.
That's children. It's not the same.
And then
Rent was probably the first one to sort of do. I mean, even now you've got things like Wicked, and the Spamalot again.
But maybe the Rocky Horror Show got young people in
at the time, yeah. But then each generation has its age,
and that still gets young people.
And even that, yeah. But then, like, your dad is when I was talking to your father the other day, he must have been, the fifth or sixth sort of man I've talked to you recently has gone, I saw Rocky Horror Show in the 70s. I saw, everyone.
And of course, our Michael we just spoke to, and he'd seen it
in the 70s. I mean, everybody went to see it when they were young. And that's the thing that we've been lacking, sort of, and sort of in between, when Rent sort of came off. But there was nothing really for young people to go and see, and it was a problem, and everyone was talking about it, discussing. I mean, I was probably still in university at the time, but even then, everybody would say, "Oh God, there's nothing
to see.
There's nothing." Yeah, I mean, it was all revivals of old shows.
I don't want to see Phantom again, and I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't want to go and see Phantom. I don't want to go and see this, and everyone's seen Phantom in the opera,
but Grease. Always, but that's revival
again. But Grease it brings in all ages, and it's always, it's not necessarily teenagers. It's sort of all ages, I mean, Wicked has done it now, basically. I mean, when I was at
of course, Wicked's very famous for having lots of young girls there.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. I mean, the whole audience was teenagers when I went to see it.
And of course, Avenue Q is now bringing in young adults.
Younger adults. Yeah,
and Spamalot will as well.
Yeah, I think Spamalot will. I mean, again. Spamalot will bring in all ages because
children can see it because there's not much foul content as far as we know.
And young adults will love it because you grow up and when you're 14, 15 you watch Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I mean you just, it's part of your childhood, isn't it? If your family doesn't make you watch it, your friends make you watch it. Do you know what I mean? It's and if I ever come across someone that hasn't watched Monty Python and the Holy Grail, I just say go watch it. Watch Life of Brian. Watch Meaning of Life. They are brilliant films, and they're still very, very funny.
I've been wondering if we're going to have any more Monty Python musicals from this. I mean,
well, we'll see.
They may do.
Mel Brooks is doing a new one, Young Frankenstein. So because he was so successful with the producers, so I think maybe we might see another one from. I mean, The Life of Brian would be the perfect choice, wouldn't it? Really. Anyway, so should we move on?
Yes.
That's Spamalot done.
Yeah, Andy, I want to ask you something.
Okay, go for it.
You know, we've had How Do You Solve a Problem Like Maria?
Yep.
And in America, they're going to have You're the One That We Want soon.
Yeah, well, the Greece one, yeah.
Yeah. If you had a break between shows and this opportunity came, would you go on and do it?
Of course. I mean, you'd be crazy not to. I mean, there's been this debate recently among actors. It really has divided a lot of people. I mean, when they had things like the X Factor coming along and
American Idol,
Pop, all these kind of things. Everyone was going, oh, it degrades the business. It makes it look like anyone could do what we do, and a lot of people were sort of up in arms about that. And then you got things like Soap Idol that went down to, which is like basically Soap Idol was like one to go into a new family to go into Emmerdale Farm, I think it was.
Never heard of Soap Idol.
Oh yeah, it was a soap opera thing anyway.
Must have been away that week.
It was quite a while ago, but then everyone was getting a bit funny about it. But then how do you solve a problem like Maria came around, and everyone was saying again, the thing came up. You either agree with it or you disagree with it.
Mm.
I mean, from an actor's point of view, I can see where people are coming from both sides of the story. I mean, it's great because it gets people. One argument, it's great. It gets people into the theatre. It gets people interested in
It's
voting.
young people into the theatre.
Yeah, and it sees an audition process on TV. I mean,
and it gets the entire country involved.
Yeah.
And it gets
and they get to see the composers, they get to see the producers, they get to see what we go through, to get cast in these things. I mean, sometimes you go for 15 auditions for a part. Granted, on the TV show, sometimes they do sing songs that are completely inappropriate for Maria. I mean, some of the people were singing songs that you would never sing in an audition for Maria. But, that's neither here nor there. But then, the other side of it is, are we going to have to go on TV to start getting our parts? And
of course, there's a question, you may think it's a bit staged.
Oh, of course, and then you have people that are inexperienced that go on haven't trained that aren't members of Equity, because you have to gain an Equity card in this country to be able to work. Well, that is the theory, although it's not really put into practice these days. These people are some people are just off the streets and they've got a nice singing voice. Yes, granted, but can you sing 8 shows a week? You haven't had the training. How are you going to get through?
Can you sing and act? Can you sing and dance at the same time?
Sing, dance, act, and then do it 8 times a week. And the only way to find that out is to train, really, or to do it. And I think, well, these people are going to be thrown in and playing Maria straight off the street. I mean, they're going to lose their voice. That's one sort of side of it. So it has brought up a lot of arguments, and it has divided a lot of actors.
And of course, two creative gurus, as it were, Sir Trevor Nunn, the very famous theatre.
Yeah, he said
it's awful.
It's awful, and it's a farce, and the whole thing is crazy. I mean, literally, he's being really outspoken. He's not even giving it criticism. He is just blatantly saying, no, it shouldn't be done.
But then when I spent my time with Stephen Schwartz, he said it's one of the best ideas he's ever heard.
Yeah. So
as regards a marketing idea, because he said to me, I think Andrew Lloyd Webber was sort of like this marketing machine that never stops thinking.
Yeah,
and he's always fresh on the ball, and he's always giving good ideas.
He's a very clever man, and he came across on the show really, really well.
A father figure, I think.
Yeah, I mean, and he really is. He is a nice man. Everyone kind of thinks he's this big, millionaire demon or something. I don't know why. I mean, so many people kind of say, it's Andrew Lloyd Webber's coming in tonight, and he's if you watch the show, you saw for yourself, he's a very, very nice man.
Now, someone once asked me, what is a swing?
A swing? Oh, of course. Right, okay. A lot of people get confused by this, because someone came to see the show the other day, and we have a moment in the producers where this woman's on a swing. And I said swing to someone, and they went, oh, what, you have an understudy just for someone to be put on a swing? I was like, no. A swing it's like an understudy for the ensemble. So you might have like 4 swings on a show, 2 boys, 2 girls. I mean, we have 3 boys and 2 girl swings on our show.
And the producers.
And usually, and the producers. And usually it's a dance, 2 of them are dance captains. You have an assistant dance captain. So, so they can watch the show when they're not on.
And the dance captain is someone who knows every
step, everything. And cleans it. He or she cleans it, says...
Cleans it?
Tidies the dance routines up.
Okay.
That arm is shoulder level. That foot needs to go on track 2, number 3, just does everything, knows the whole show, and they have a Bible, which is just every person's track. Track is what you do in the show when you have a track. So my track is the tumbling track, for instance.
That's why they have little. If you ever notice, they have numbers on the stage.
Yeah, I mean, you might have seen that, but that's a very American way of doing it. The Americans do that. We don't tend to usually do that, but in the producers, we have that. We have a number system.
I saw Wicked has it as well.
Oh yeah, Wicked has
American production.
Yeah, that's what Katie was saying on the blog, wasn't she? I don't have to care what number I'm on because I'm in a wheelchair. I get pushed on. But yeah, what was I saying? Swing. So the swing then will say if I went off sick today. Say I was walking down the street, I felt ill, whatever. I break my ankle.
Is he doing a podcast or whatever?
Whatever, and I can't do the show for some reason. My swing would go on for me.
Right. So a swing is sort of like an everyone's understudy.
Yeah. Well, an understudy, and they tend to understudy principals as well. For instance, Christian is our Leo cover, is our first Leo cover, and he's second. Sort of second swing cover me, so he learns his what do you call it, obligation sort of thing. Your first priority, second priority, and third priority.
Mm-hmm.
So, for instance, my first priority swing is Ben, a guy called Ben Tribe, who will go on if I'm sick, and if he's not available, then Christian will go on. If Christian's not available, then David will go on. So that's a swing, and they literally would just put my costumes. And they have their own costumes, but that are identical to mine, and they will go on and do my part in the show.
Okay.
I suppose the only way you could describe them would be an understudy for the ensemble. But it's the hardest job. Let me tell you, it's one of the hardest jobs in theatre to be a swing, and they have to work really hard because they have to watch the show all the time.
As I say, I mean, knowing if you're in the show and knowing your own stuff is hard.
It's hard enough.
Knowing everybody's,
you
everyone's
have to know.
line, everyone's singing, everyone's dancing.
Absolutely everything. They have to know, even the principal stuff. They have to know what the principals are doing. Because if they don't know what the principals are, then they don't know what number they should be on, and it's almost
very
machine-like. It's exactly what it is. It's like they have to have like that computer sort of mind, and that absolutely.
We're going to be talking about the wonderful composing team of Stephen Flaherty and Lynn Ahrens. I think I pronounced their names properly. Very, very famous for writing. I think one of my favourite musicals, and that's one of your favourites.
Well, it's one of the best musicals ever written.
It's Ragtime.
I mean, I've never heard anyone go and see that show and come out and say it was bad. I mean,
I've never seen it, but I know this is awful. I know we're talking about it, and I've never seen it. I know the score probably back to front.
Yeah,
and it's extremely clever. It's the first musical for any character to come on stage and say the character's his role is the father. He will refer to himself as father and tell his story as he goes along.
Yeah.
And that's a very good idea. I think it separates it from every other show. But, of course, the score is just fantastic.
Phenomenal score.
I was speaking to Stephen Schwartz about the orchestrator for Wicked, a person called William David Bron, who is probably the best orchestrator in the business. He's done Wicked and Miss Saigon.
Another great score there, Miss Saigon.
Another great score, and so many revivals of recent years. My Fair Lady, Oklahoma.
Oh, okay. Is this all in London?
Yeah.
Okay.
And but he also won the Tony for the Ragtime orchestrations.
Orchestrations, yeah.
And so that's what really that's how Stephen Schwartz noticed how good William Bron is through Ragtime.
Right.
And of course, I mean, it's such a. The show opens and it's simply based on this these series of notes. Most of the score, these notes will just reappear and reappear.
And that, it's such a great little. Yeah, and everyone knows that now,
And of course, the story is great. It's so many stories going on at once, and they all sort of merge into one through. And some bits very dark. I know when Coal House is burning down.
Yeah, and
the fire station. The irony of that, of course.
It tackles a lot of issues as well. Look, even we're still having troubles with nowadays, and this is set many years ago. So
race and and of course Forbidden Broadway did a wonderful.
Sometimes I listen to Forbidden Broadway and I go, oh my god, they've gone too far. But I think Ragtime was. I think it's the best. It's about 12 minutes long, isn't it? They do. I mean, it is very, very funny.
And we're actually hoping in a couple of weeks to have Gerard Alessandrini on the show.
That would be a great thing, wouldn't it?
The creator and director and sort of writer, lyricist of Forbidden Broadway, and he does some very, very good lyrics.
Yeah.
I remember listening to a parody of Thoroughly Modern Millie, and their parody is called Thoroughly Perky Millie. Don't know what they're having in mind there, but there's one lyric that goes, just like an amateur, I'll slam at your brain. You'll scream, gosh, damn it, you're going to drive yourself insane, which, I'm a lyricist and I appreciate, very, very clever lyrics like that, and we look forward to having him on the show. So Ragtime they did, and that was, very, very good musical. They also did Seussical, which you mentioned before.
Oh, okay.
And they also did a very good movie, their sort of first dive into animation with the
Anastasia. Yeah,
Anastasia.
I remember watching that and thinking this isn't a Disney, so I'm not going to enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? You walked to the cinema.
Yeah.
I was only a kid, I walked in and I went, oh, it's not Disney. I don't want to know. And then when she started singing, it's Journey to the Past, Journey from the Past,
Journey into the Past.
Journey, that one. I just thought, wow, this is really, really good.
And of course,
the music is stunning.
Of course, going back to Alan Menken, it has a sort of very Disney-esque style opening number called a Rumour in St. Petersburg, where it's a travelogue. We sort of meet all the characters and they describe their story. And they also did a musical called Once on This Island, which is
right. Yes, you were talking about this. I don't know this one. Actually.
It's a Caribbean.
I've heard of it. I remember it was in the West End, wasn't it?
Very faithful to Caribbean music.
Yeah, I remember it was in the West End sort of a few years ago.
Yeah, and it's a sort of retelling of the Little Mermaid.
Oh, okay.
And it's very upbeat numbers and great score. You should really check it out. I mean,
yeah, I will.
I'll play some of the songs.
I'm sure I've heard some of the songs, but I just and then as soon as you hear it, it's like I was saying earlier about Jekyll and Hyde.
Jekyll and Hyde.
Jekyll and Hyde. I went to see it. Jekyll and Hyde. I went to see it earlier. I went to see it earlier this year, and I didn't realise half the songs, because you hear so many songs when you're sort of doing portfolio classes and what have you.
Well, I don't, but you may.
Well, when you're in auditions and you hear a song, or you just passed by a CD or whatever, and I was I sat and watched it and went, oh, I didn't know this was in it. And the next one will come on and I'll go, oh, I didn't know this was in it. And the next one will come on and I'll do, I'll just keep
I did know this was in it.
Oh, yeah, I did know that. This is the moment.
This is my key change.
Forbidden Broadway do very famously. This is my key change.
A musical is by this wonderful team is My Favourite Year.
My Favourite Year, yeah.
Also had Tim Curry in it.
Did it really?
The recording I own has Tim Curry.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I'll lend it to you.
Oh, that'd be great. I know we did it in college, and I did the lighting on it. Actually, funnily enough, I was just
the story from what I gathered, it's about this guy who great line. It wasn't my best year, but it was my favourite year.
Yeah, it was the most successful year.
And
then it's not till the end of the show you find out who it is.
Okay,
who this person is supposed to be.
He puts on a TV show.
He works just as like a runner or what have you. Just not. He works in a TV studio. He's like a researcher or something. He has to look after. I think it's someone, Alan Swan or something. They have this celebrity come on a live TV show, and he thinks it might be his father.
Oh, okay.
He has this idea that it could be his father.
And there's one musical number I remember listening to it, and I thought, this is incredible, about the movies.
Yeah. I'd have to go back to My Favourite Year very quickly, because there's a fantastic line in it, one of the best lines in the script. One of the characters comes in really, really hungover, like completely, he was absolutely off his face, and he comes in the next morning and just says, I feel like I've been to the Pekingese opera. It's just one of my favourite lines I ever heard in a musical. The
song I really like is called If the World Were Like the Movies, which is about this, obviously our main character is, my guess, you know better than I, but there's, I guess he's watching a movie and he thinks, we all think that, what if life, we'd all have a happy ending. We'd all ride off into the sunset if it was a happy movie. I really like the work of Stephen and Lynn. And Lynn Ahrens has also done independent projects. She's written some songs for the musical of Schoolhouse of Rock, both music and lyrics. And she's also done lyrics for, with Alan Menken of A Christmas Carol, which played at the...
Which you were playing me earlier on, weren't you?
Playing at the Radio City Music Hall for 10 years every Christmas. A big, big, big show. It's it's snowed in the theatre, and
have you ever seen it?
I haven't, sadly, but they actually did a movie of it.
Oh, okay.
With which you can buy, and I got the soundtrack, and it had Kelsey Grammer as Scrooge.
Oh, he's brilliant. Frasier.
Yeah,
I like Kelsey Grammer.
And it also had Jennifer Love Hewitt in it, and Jason Alexander.
Oh, I'll have to get that. That sounds great.
And Jane Krakowski, who's in Guys and Dolls here in London, she played the Ghost of Christmas Past, I think.
Fantastic. On a more personal note, I just want to say well done to someone who went on the other night for Ula in the producers, Emma Jane Appleyard. Well done to her. It was fantastic. She did very, very well. It's only her fourth time on, and she was lovely. She looked cracking in that dress as well.
It must be hard work doing that, just to suddenly be thrust into that.
I mean, she was literally thrown on within the half. They told her, right, Emma, you're on. So it's
within the half.
The half is the half hour called for the show,
right?
Which is 35 minutes before the performance starts, because they give you a 5-minute sort of period to get to the stage. So you have a half, you have the quarter, which is 20 minutes before. You have the 5, and then you have beginners at 25 past, Act 1 beginners. It's different in America and also in Germany. They just give you places.
This is your half-hour call for blah, blah,
this
blah,
evening's
blah, blah.
performance. Yeah, so that's you have the different calls.
Right.
But in America you have a different, it's just places, everybody, places. And that means the orchestra is about to kick in, and if you're not... We had it on Fame, we used to have places on Fame.
Mm-hmm.
And I was at the props table when I heard places, and I was supposed to start on stage, and I'm at the props table, there's no light by the props table, I couldn't see my props to pick up.
Did you trip over it? Or?
Well, no, it was just, because it was our first day in that theatre, they forgot to put a light above the props table, so there was just no light in that wing at all. And then the music starts, and I was supposed to be on stage, and I just... I didn't know what to do. I ran, and luckily I just snuck on.
A true professional, you were. You were unoblivious to the audience.
Well, I just sort of
well,
snuck
not like
on.
that, but you were sort of.
Luckily, it's like, I don't know if you've ever seen the show, but Fame starts with like a show reel, like a video on a video screen. So I kind of snuck on behind the video screen, and I don't think anybody noticed. I was in Holland anyway, so.
Yeah, so well done to Emma. Please let us know how it went. Either tell Andy or get in touch with us if you're listening at musicaltalk@hotmail.co.uk, or visit our website at hudson.knit.googlepages.com. And
he's been dying to say that, I tell you, it's so funny.
We're going to talk about a very British tradition of theatre here, which a lot of people really gets them into theatre. It's what we call amdram.
Amdram, amateur dramatics.
Short for amateur dramatics. Andy, of course, started...
I started that in Amdram. I have to say, that's the best thing I like about Amdram is the bitching. It's so funny. It's so petty. It's great. Seriously, you have to experience it to understand what I'm talking about. But it's good fun.
Can you give us any stories that you've experienced? No names, but...
Not really. Oh, I can't think of any off the top of my head. Let me just go through. So I started in my main Amdram stuff I did with Bournemouth Operatic and Theatre 2000. They were my two companies. Bournemouth Operatic Society, Boss, they were called locally. And I did a few things with them. I did a couple of concerts, a Strauss concert, funnily enough. I did one called Waltzing in Vienna. What was it called? Christmas in Vienna. And we
all singing, all dancing Strauss with you.
But it was the second one they'd done. I did the second one, and it was called Christmas in Vienna: The Revenge. It was good fun, and then I did State Fair with them, and then I went on to do
by Rodgers and Hammerstein.
Rodgers and Hammerstein, yeah. And I did what else? With Theatre 2000, I did Le Cage aux Folles. I did Kiss of the Spider Woman. We did quite a few. I did some really good stuff with Theatre 2000, and my sister's recently done Jacqueline Hyde with them, which I went to see, and that was good fun. I got to sit in the dress rehearsal. And I was on Fame at the time, but I had like 2 days off, so I came back and I happened to be in Poole, and so I went along and saw it. So it was it never changes, the Amdram scene.
That's it for our show this week.
Okay,
Thanks for listening. Next week, of course, we're going to have an interview with Corey English.
Corey English, yes, I'm going to do that tonight. I'm very excited about that.
And
not that I don't work with him every day, but he's a very nice man.
You don't get to talk to him much.
No, well, he's downstairs and I'm upstairs.
And hopefully next week we're going to try and have an interview with a composer and orchestrator called John Cameron.
Oh, okay.
Who is the orchestrator for Les Miserables.
Ooh.
So we're going to have an interview with John Cameron. He's also written a Zorro musical.
Oh, yeah, this is supposed to be coming in this year, isn't it,
yeah,
Zorro?
So he's off to New York and LA for workshops of that soon. And
Zorro, the musical.
Did you ever hear of a musical called Honk?
Oh, I love Honk.
He did the orchestration for that. He did the orchestration for that as well, so we can talk to him about that.
There's a brilliant song that called Different. So this is brilliant. Or Play With Your Food, that's another good one.
So if you have any questions for John Cameron, please do either get in touch with us on our forums. At hudson.nick.googlepages.com.
How many times have you mentioned this week?
Not enough.
Not enough.
Or you can email us at musicaltalk@hotmail.co.uk, and if your question is decent and polite, we will put
We will
it
respond
through to him.
If you want to ask just one of us a question, that's what we we're
Yeah.
going to say earlier on, then you can email us on the website. There is our particular email addresses.
hudson.nick.googlepages.com.
Yeah, if you click onto the presenters link, or
you
the
can email
presenters
us
bit, you
directly.
can email us
And
directly.
you can see a picture of Andrew naked.
I'm not naked. I'm wearing a plastic bag.
Oh, well, that's your...
But if you want just one of us to reply, if you have a question, just one of us, you can do it. Because this week we've had a few problems because people have been emailing both of us,
Yeah.
sending the same email to both of us, and we both replied because we thought, oh well.
But we're
it's-
nice guys, so...
Well, yeah. If you want to email both of us, then you get a reply from both of us. Then you could do that. Or if it's just a general question or a general request or anything at all. If you have a suggestion for an interview, Patrick Swayze we've had a suggestion for, and something called Kit and the Widow. I don't know what that is.
From
It's
Gavin?
From Gavin. Apparently
From
there
your
was a
drama
play.
teacher?
Yeah, my drama teacher. Apparently there's a play. It's on tour at the moment from the. It was at the Lighthouse recently, and he went and met them. Apparently they're very nice people, and they do a fantastic show. But I don't know what it is. But we will find out.
We'll
I can't-
research.
Yeah, we'll research. We'll talk about them next week maybe. And if they're interested, or if they listen to this, please get in contact, and maybe we could have an interview then.
So, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Thanks for listening to Musical Talk. We'll see you next time.